The Chargers and the Packers on a gorgeous day in Green Bay. And again, friends, welcome back. Jim Nance, Phil Simms. And you say things early, the indicators you're looking for, so critical in this one.
Well, you look at this game, the Packers 2-0. Can they take that momentum and that excitement with their home crowd? Is that enough to offset a talented and very powerful Chargers football team?
We're going to see Green Bay with the football first. They won the toss, and Nate Kading is teeing it up. As the Packers with that 2-0 start. Here's Williams back deep. Tramon Williams. Their best start, the Green Bay side, since 2001. San Diego at 1-1. Although after being ambushed by New England, people are walking around like they're 0-8. That's what Phillip Rivers said. Here's Williams from the 6. And a good seam up the middle. And darts across the 30 to the 31. 24-yard run back, and stepping onto the field yet another time, the legend Brett Favre. Will this be the day? He begins at 4:17. 3 back, joining Dan Marino, and 4 away from taking the record all alone. His 240th career start, which, talk about symmetry, matches Marino's career total of 240 starts. He'll begin with a rookie in the backfield, Brandon Jackson. Morency is still down with a knee injury, not active today. Straight pass play, and Donald Lee had lost his footing, and Carlos Polk defending. That line in front includes Mark Tauscher on the right side, 8th year out of Wisconsin, just got a contract extension on Friday. And Donald Driver, 1 catch, and he'll have more receptions than any player in the history Lambeau Field. He's tied with Antonio Freeman at the moment. So 1 for a Donald Driver record at home. James Jones has come in, a rookie receiver out of San Jose State. Extra defensive backs in, Cromartie for the Chargers.
Yep, Chargers didn't do this against New England. They're going to do it today.
2nd and 10. Favre, excellent protection. Now he'll roll away and fire it on the run, and the ball's caught by Jones in San Diego territory at the 47. That was Quentin Jammer on the coverage. It goes for 22 yards.
Well, pass protection so key. Of course, anytime for a quarterback having success. And look at that pocket. Nobody was open. The Chargers going to play the Packers the exact opposite way they played the New England Patriots. They're going to get up, challenge them, and the pass protection allowed Brett Favre and the receiver to get a chance for the completion.
Brian Grant in the backfield for Green Bay, first-year player out of Notre Dame. Picked up in a trade with the Giants right before the start of the season, and that is Grant with his first carry. He caught one last week, went 21 yards, goes for 5 yards. This Chargers defense, so impressive up front. Williams, perhaps the best run stopper in the NFL. The linebacking group, well, just as strong as that front line. You look at Sean Phillips, Cooper, Polk, Merriman, just awesome talent there. And Jammer, we talked about Donald Driver. We expect to see a lot of Jammer on Driver today. It's Grant getting another carry on 2nd and 5, and it goes for about 3. So 3rd and 2 on the way, and how about a little philosophy here, Mr. Simms?
Well, you know, when you look at Green Bay, it's about Brett Favre. Can they keep this powerful defensive line off of him? And for San Diego, for them to have success on defense, it's the outside linebackers for them. If they can get rushing the passer against a running back or a tight end, that's when they have great success.
3rd down and 2.
Look at them, challenging them. Everybody up near receiver for San Diego's defense.
Favre steps away from the heat, going for the long ball, going to the end zone, and it's incomplete. Trying to hook up with Greg Jennings, who's active for the first time this season. He's been trying to overcome a hamstring injury.
Well, it looks like right now the Green Bay Packers
Gonna go for it.
Gonna go for it. So if I was on defense, sit still. It could be just try to draw them off sides with some movement, a hard snap count. I think this is a pretty big risk to take against this team early in the game.
From the 39 of San Diego. Shifting Driver around. And they do go for it. Not trying to draw him off. Up the middle, incomplete. Crowd wanted a flag.
Should have got a flag.
Trying to hit Donald Driver. Oh, there was some contact. Drayton Florence. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms here in Green Bay. San Diego taking over on downs. And we'll be looking back at that one for a while. What looked like obvious interference, not called.
Oh, absolutely. I'll show you why it was interference.
Gates wide up to the right side, but it's Tomlinson stiff-arming a couple of defenders. Finally, Collins bumps him out after a run for 8.
Watch the left shoulder of Donald Driver, 29. Pulls his left shoulder back. You're allowed to put your hand on a receiver, but you can't pull him. And Mike McCarthy goes, my gosh, I saw it live. I could see it. But early in the game, maybe they're going to let him play.
No way he was going to catch that with one hand.
Well, what you got to do is you got to learn the strike zone early and play with it. So just be consistent. 2nd down and 2. And the Chargers with Tomlinson. Makes the move, enough for the first down as Bigby came up to make the hit. But the 3 yards, good for a first. Phillip Rivers, he said last night to us, we want to get a little rhythm. Get a couple of first downs at the very least, unlike last week. They've already picked up 1. They've got a new starter on the right side today. Jeremy Clary's first career start. First-year man out of Kansas State. And Tomlinson held to only 68 yards rushing through 2 games. Last year's MVP, though, with a couple of nice rushes to open up this one. Right at the 50. Rivers. It's Davis, and Buster Davis, the rookie out of LSU, picks up 6. Hawk on the hit. This Green Bay defense is young, and it's aggressive, and it's impressive as well. We talked about San Diego's defensive front. There's Campman, who was a Pro Bowler last year, led the NFC in sacks. He's going against that first-time starter in Clary. Barnett is the quarterback of the Packers defense. And in the secondary, 2 cover corners, shutdown corners, Woodson and Harris, with Bigby really coming on here after a strong preseason. Screen pass, it's Tomlinson. And bouncing around for very little. Charles Woodson on the tackle. In fact, they lost a couple of yards. How about a little philosophy on this side? Well, let me give it to you, Jim. For the San Diego Chargers, you kind of said it. Norv Turner says the first quarter, let's just don't throw gasoline on the fire playing here in Lambeau. And for Green Bay, Al Harris, Charles Woodson, if they have good days outside, that just gives them more defensive players to come in and try to stop LaDainian Tomlinson. So a lot of pressure on Charles Woodson and Al Harris.
This is their 5th snap. Last week, after 5 snaps, they were down 14-0 at New England. Rivers, slant pass, caught, first down. And that's Gates. Gain of 8, right into double coverage of Bush and Collins, and Gates so sure-handed.
Everybody always says on the top of your screen, well, we need to throw it. Why didn't San Diego throw it more to the wide receivers? They got to be a bigger part. That's why Antonio Gates that time goes out as a wide receiver. Even though they have 2 guys looking at him and trying to take care of him, his size is has such a good presence, it's hard for 2 guys to stop him sometimes.
And you see they have not scored a point in the first half either week, but they're driving on their first possession. And it's Tomlinson for 3. Norv Turner, his 3rd game as the head coach of the Chargers, and 10 years now as a head coach in the league with Washington, with Oakland, now with San Diego. He has, interestingly, even with that long stretch there in Washington, never has coached against Green Bay as a head coach. So keen on trying to keep continuity here with a program that last year went 14-2.
Well, you say continuity, Jim. 14-2, kind of the same system, but you got a new head coach, 2 new coordinators, new assistants. You've got to learn the players. And they've played 2 good football teams to start the year.
Gates is out for the 2nd straight play, and it's Tomlinson. And that's another nice run. Manu Maliuna helping clear the way, and that's a gain of 8.
Well, the San Diego spreads it out on offense. Nobody outside to stop the run. A.J. Hawk gets caught inside. And LaDainian Tomlinson, you think of speed, finesse, all that, but when he needs to and wants to, he can run with power too.
Tomlinson out, Michael Turner in, and Antonio Gates, I think, may have hurt his right hand or right wrist on that one catch that picked up a first down. He's out for a third straight play. It's Turner churning the feet to the 25 and a 2-yard gain.
Well, I guess everybody expected, like you kind of laughed at it. It's like the Chargers are 0-8. They went 14-2 last year. There's Antonio Gates on the sideline, checking out his right hand and wrist.
And grimacing. This was right after the catch. And, well,
as he was getting up, you could tell right away, he's like, oh, that hurt a little.
9th play of this opening drive for the San Diego side. Pass batted into the air and out of bounds. And a flag. They're trying to hit Buster Davis. Charles Woodson's going to get flagged for it.
Pass interference, defense, number 21. Ball he placed to the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Jeff Triplett, our referee, in his 12th year.
Well, let's see what it looks like. You see this a lot with the Green Bay Packers. Charles Woodson slips a little, puts his hands on the receiver. That is a good call because he grabbed him with both hands. But you're a fan, you're a coach, you go, well, how about the other play earlier? They missed that one.
LT is back in. First down from the 17. Tomlinson. Little dance step and a flag thrown in at the back end of that. He picked up 4. Running behind Mike Goff.
Holding number 79 in the offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
And it's called on Goff.
Mike Goff, 79, right guard, gets outside and uses that right hand and
kind of helped drag down Papinga.
Yeah, but it didn't matter. Papinga was not, he had no chance of making the play, and of course Mike Goff doesn't know that.
Go with a 3.
But it was to the side, Jim, of the run, so that's why that penalty does get called.
So it's a 1st and 20 now, back up to the 27. With a play action, going deep to the end zone. The ball is caught. Vincent Jackson has the game's opening touchdown. Right over Al Harris. One of your hidden keys to the game today, Phil, was Vincent Jackson. The first time they throw it to him goes for 27 yards and a score.
Well, this is a case in point where it's nice to be 6'5" and good coverage on the outside, but Phillip Rivers, that is a perfect throw, and it's hard to defense a perfect throw.
Kading in for the extra point, has not missed a PAT since 2004. That's the longest play of the year, by the way, for the Chargers. Kading has the point after. Their longest previous play from scrimmage had been 22 yards. Only team in the league that didn't have one over 25. They've got one now. An opening drive touchdown. 7-0 San Diego. Vincent Jackson catching the touchdown pass from Phillip Rivers. 9-play drive, 60 yards after the Packers had gone for it and failed on 4th and 2. And there was a no call, looked like an obvious interference call. It's Williams now in trouble and decked at the 13. That's Cromartie on the coverage. There's Al Harris, and he has tremendous respect around the league for his ability to cover. And that was about as tight on a receiver as you can be, but as you said, the pass by Rivers perfect, and the play by Jackson. Ryan Grant now getting his 3rd carry of the game, and it goes for 2.
Well, Jim, you talked about the coverage. Just watch everybody as they cover. Watch up top. There is really no separation with receivers against the defensive backs. But as you said, the perfect throw. Watch Al Harris here. He goes to knock it down, just misses it. Then he tries to pull it out of the receiver's hands, and Vincent Jackson, 6'5", strong, able to hold off. So you can throw that type of pass against Green Bay every down if you want to, just about.
A little wake-up call for Harris and the Packers that the Chargers aren't going to be the same slumbering team of a week ago. Second down and 8. From the 15, and Favre has his tight end. Donald Lee, still short of the first. Deshaun Wynn is in. As Favre goes down the field, and Driver has his head absolutely popped. Helmet flying. That's Marlon McCree comes in and got flagged for it. Oh.
You cannot lead with the helmet when you're going against the receiver in the air trying to make a catch. That player is deemed defenseless, which he is. He can't protect himself. So you make the rule to help him out.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Number 20 on the defense. Hit on the defensive receiver. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
You're going to have to adjust the helmet. That's how hard that hit was.
Yeah, down the field. Drayton Florence all over Donald Driver. Oh, he led with the top of the helmet right into the face.
Guess whose wallet's going to be a little lighter this week?
Yes, that's and you understand why. That is a defenseless player in the air, and the rules of this game, that's what's great. They'll change them to protect the players on the field.
So from the 36, quick slant and a completion. And trying to swing down James Jones is Quentin Jammer. He goes for 9 yards, carries the defense with him.
You know, Jim, as I was talking to the Packer coaches, and you were there too on Friday, we were talking about the New England game, how San Diego just was passive, stayed back, and just gave easy completions to Tom Brady and Randy Moss. And they go, they're going to play us different. They're going to get up there, and they're going to challenge us. And I'm going, there's no way. They can't. They're not going to change that drastically from week to week. Wrong. They have been up challenging Green Bay's wide receivers.
Second down and a long one. Favre, look in the middle, has the first down, has the rookie who shakes free. Jones inside the 30 and bounced out at the 28. He got away from Marlon McCree, who just got flagged for that vicious hit, and it goes for 26 yards.
James Jones, the rookie, and the first word that comes out of everybody's mouth up here in Green Bay, Sterling Sharp. That type of receiver can catch the football well with his hands, but really big and strong. That's what set Sterling Sharp apart from other wide receivers, and this is a good illustration. They hit him, he doesn't go down easy.
Good-looking rookie, third rounder from San Jose State. From the 30, first down and a little screen pass. They do this with great effectiveness, and that is a nice piece of running by Brandon Jackson. That's 16 yards as Junius Costin helped deliver a key block.
Yeah, a clinic by Junius Costin. Watch number 62. Here he comes out. Watch him throw his body to the ground. And when you're a little guy, even if you don't touch him, they got to jump because you got to stay out of the way of a 310-pound guy. And it allows running backs or whoever's catching the screen to run around that defender. And that time they got him an extra 10 yards.
Well, they've got Donald Driver back in. They've readjusted his helmet, and he's ready to go. He caught one down in this red zone territory last week against the Giants. From the gun, Favre looking, now escaping. Right at the line of scrimmage, flings it, and almost picked off. Going for Jennings, and that was Cromartie, who had a chance at the pick.
Well, that was kind of the old Brett Favre. Watch as he makes this spin out. There's a receiver right in front of him. If he throws it to him, he's going to get 10 yards, but he wanted to throw it into the end zone. Here's the receiver. Look how open. Well, maybe he saw the defender coming up. I'll back off that original statement. But when Brett rears back, Brett Favre, when he wants to throw it hard, he can still throw it hard to anybody in this league.
Yes, he can. He can zing it. Second down and 10. Now from under center. They fake the reverse, dumped a little short pass, and boy, was that read well by Brandon McKinney. That was Brandon Jackson picking up 4 yards, moves it inside the 10. It'll be third down on the way.
Without question. Kinney just stopped the touchdown. It's a walk-in. Watch in front. Number 91 says, oh, man, I'm not that good of a pass rusher. Where are the defenders? Nobody. Nobody there. He's going to walk in. Acting wasn't good enough by the Green Bay offensive line.
Didn't fool him. 3rd down and 6. Will Favre get another step closer on that touchdown pass mark? And they match the Chargers on the run. Favre to the end zone and off the hands. Bubba Franks.
Brett Favre, what I take out of this play is the pass protection once again. Stephen Cooper, Clinton Hart, just because the protection was so well, he ran through the coverage. Brett Favre had time once again to backpedal more and get out of the pocket and let a receiver uncover.
They bring out their rookie kicker, Mason Crosby out of Colorado. 28-yard field goal attempt. And Crosby's kick is good. Now 4 out of 5 this season. 7-3 Chargers. First quarter at Lambeau Field. The MetLife blimp Snoopy 1 hovering, providing aerial coverage. Looking down on historic Lambeau, where you saw the emblem. It helps commemorate this 50-year anniversary of the grand opening of what was City Stadium back in 1957. Became Lambeau in '65 after Curly Lambeau passed away. From the 7-yard line, it's Sproles running it, spinning twice, down at the 20. There is a flag.
Well, we'll wait on this flag, Jim. I'm asking you, if we look over the crowd, show me one empty seat in this stadium. I'm serious. There is not one empty seat.
Which means there's nothing happening at the concession stands. There isn't. There isn't a single one to find.
During the return, illegal blocking the back. Number 51 in the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, the Chargers drove it 60 yards for a touchdown the first time they had it. They'll start this series at their own 10. Gates is back, his right hand wrapped. Rivers was 4 out of 4 on that first series and a touchdown pass, going against a defense that had allowed the lowest completion percentage in the league the first 2 weeks. Tomlinson's going to get backed up 3 yards. The last push by Al Harris.
Well, that was a tremendous example of just, we got good guys on the outside, and we are just going to put everybody in there to stop LaDainian Tomlinson. You can't block them all. Look at them charging at the line of scrimmage, and it's just tough for offensive linemen, fullback, whoever, to find a guy to block when they're all moving and running to try to stop the run.
Coming into this game, San Diego and Green Bay were the last 2 teams in the league on average yard per gain on first down. We just saw the Chargers lose 2. On 2nd and 12 now, that's Neal. Ramrodded right away, and Harris making up for a little that anger he has to feel, or frustration, after Jackson caught the touchdown over him.
Picking on the wrong guy. That's what he is. You know, you can take out your frustration, but Lorenzo Neal, he's been in the league as a lead blocker for 15 years. He goes, what something just hit me. I don't know what it was. So he is something else. And Al Harris trying to overpower him, and that is good stuff.
I think Neal gets the put down. Backing up.
If that out of bounds stripe wasn't there, he might have taken him to the end zone.
3rd down and 8. Well, they whistle it dead.
Delay a game. Phillip Rivers trying to get Nick Hartwick to snap the ball, but he was too busy trying to say, who are we going to block up front?
And the Packers were blitzing. I saw Woodson.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Woodson so quickly across, but a delay a game. So this snap will come from the 7.
Well, they're fired up. Remember the defensive coordinator, Bob Sanders? I said this Charger team's going to be fired up, and he about jumped out of his chair.
Yes, he did.
And you started laughing. Well, we're going to be fired up,
Well, we
too.
should be pretty upset, too.
So
our hair should be standing up on everybody's head from the get-go. And I'm sure it is after that play as they trip up Tomlinson, a gain of only a yard.
that Cullen Jenkins, the right defensive end, he makes the running back alter his plans. Nowhere to go once he gets by. Cullen Jenkins on the outside. 70. Oh, unblocked into the backfield, looking for the pulling guard. Aggressive defense. That's what hurt the Chargers that time.
Jenkins forced it. Hawk finished it off, and now Cyphers in to punt. Woodson back to return it from the 43. Some nifty footwork. Able to squeeze out about 7 yards on that return after a 49-yard boot.
These throwback uniforms, tremendous idea by the NFL. And most of them, you just look at it and go, that's pretty unique. They went way back.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that's what the Eagles used to wear. You were thinking like white helmet, you know, the back in the
60s.
60s. First down, Favre, 49-yard line. Pump fake. Wanted to go long. Now goes with the short route. It's Jackson. And Brandon Jackson with a flag on the field picks up about a yard.
If you're a Packer fan, you go, hey, good stuff. Brett's getting lots of time. Brett Favre, that is.
Loose to hands. Hands to the face. Number 31 in the defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Called on Cromartie. You really wondered about that line being able to hold up today.
Oh, absolutely. It's a powerful defensive front the Chargers have. Cromartie outside, right off the line of scrimmage, right to the face. Hits Greg Jennings, easy to call. So the coverage by the Chargers, it's been outstanding. That's the only word you can say. The pass rush, usually you get the coverage is that good. Somebody breaks through and gets to the quarterback, but not yet today.
Take the pass as they hand it off to Jackson. And he's inside the 40, closing out the quarter. We had the big Charger opening drive and the touchdown pass. Field goal by the Packers. 7-3 through 1. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Grab a seat and don't go anywhere. We start the second quarter. Jim Nance, Phil Simms. Green Bay with 10 of its 16 snaps now in San Diego territory. Second and short on the way. 2nd and 3. Favre again zips it incomplete. And I love what you said about Brett and his arm strength. You say it's still the liveliest arm in the league.
Oh, it's the best throwing arm in the NFL still. And you know, Jim, he was put on earth. We all get gifts. And he was blessed with an unbelievable arm to throw an object. In high school, he could throw a baseball 95, but his arm is limber, it's loose, he controls the football, and the test of time, he's really not lost any of that arm strength or the flexibility that hurts a lot of guys as they get older in their career.
He faces a 3rd and 3 with an empty backfield. Has his first down. It's Driver shaking off the first hit, sidestepping another. And he's down at the 21. Driver just became the #1 receiver in the history of Lambeau Field with that catch. His 214th catch here in this stadium. Goes for 16 yards.
Talk about that arm. He's off balance again, Jim, and it just, boom, flicks it all of a sudden. And the first, that is awesome. Just fall backwards, fall to your right, just kind of slap it across your body, right on target, perfect spiral. And Donald Driver, his favorite target, is really hoping to catch that record-breaking touchdown.
Yeah, he wants number 421.
That's what he wants.
Set up a screen. Beautiful closing in effort on that by Sean Phillips.
The initial coverage by this Chargers defense continues to be outstanding.
Ryan Grant losing 3, and Sean Phillips talking about outstanding.
Yeah.
So impressed by the folks up here. They came in on Friday night, San Diego, as a lot of teams from the West Coast will do. Was out just kind of getting a little experience. They were staying down in Appleton. Couldn't believe how hospitable everyone was up here.
Yeah, what did he do? He went to dinner, had dinner, and when dinner was over, everybody goes, well, how was your dinner? Was it good? Can we buy you dessert? How about some coffee? And he was like, it was incredible.
So this wouldn't happen anywhere else.
It continues to live up what you say about it, the people in Green Bay.
Favre goes underneath to Lee. to the 14. Sure-handed wrap-up tackle by the Chargers.
Well, once again, you see the arm action. Brett Favre is trying to make the defense move by faking throws to let his receivers get that second chance to uncover. And you go, well, where are the pass rushers? Chad Clifton against Sean Merriman. Merriman pushes him well, but Brett Favre just steps up, gets the completion.
Got another third down coming up. 3rd and 4, and 4 receiver formation. Last tackle by Weddle.
This might be a first blitz by the Chargers defense.
Favre saw something that provoked a timeout call by the quarterback. 3rd and 3 from the 14. Oh, a little underhanded toss. Win down at the 5. And a first to Sean Wynn, who scored twice last week against the Giants.
What this is basically the shovel pass out of the shotgun, but Brett Favre, put a little spice to it by flipping it underhanded to Deshaun Wynn. And maybe that little bit was just enough to fool the defense and open up the hole inside.
So they've got a goal-to-go situation.
This shotgun, it's got to tire out the big defensive lineman of the San Diego Chargers.
Try to get it up top. Pass, corner, and it is caught. Favre has another one.
What a catch.
Donald Driver. Packers take the lead. 36th time those two have hooked up in a Lambeau leap. Celebrated with a few transplanted Charger fans. Well, he had set the Lambeau reception record on his other catch on this series. Crosby with the extra point, straight down the middle by Crosby. And it's 10-7. Number 418 for Brett Favre. Green Bay takes the lead. One of the nearby lakes of Wisconsin. But here at Lambeau Field, what a drive put together by the Packers. A little river there. I've been corrected here. Kind of widen out a little bit for me. 7-play drive. How about Favre's pass for the touchdown?
Oh, well, I'll just say this. When I say he has a tremendous arm, I don't so mean arm strength. He makes all the throws. In fact, he told us he is so proud of the fact that he thinks he throws the touch passes and gets them over defenders as well as anybody in the league still.
Sproles waiting right at the goal line. It went right through his hands. It'll take it at the 20.
Well, Jim, when you look at the touchdown pass by Brett Favre, one of the few times you'll see him actually on balance when he throws it. And he can throw the good fastball, but look at this changeup. Perfect spiral, and the coverage by Weddle, it's tremendous. But the touch is beautiful, and Sean Merriman frustrated. Chad Clifton against him on the outside. Somebody has got to get pressure on Brett Favre from the San Diego Charger defense.
Fake the toss to Tomlinson. Little pass to Gates. And A.J. Hawk decks him after 2. And Atari Bigby.
Well, you heard that name, didn't you?
Now look at the updating pass touchdown standings with our man Dan Marino at 420. Favre 2 back.
You know what's amazing about that list? Fran Tarkenton, wow, you just forget how great he was as a quarterback. But how far Dan Marino and Brett Favre separated themselves from everybody else. That when you usually see records, there's a list of guys pretty close together.
2nd down and 8. In the middle. And knocked back short of the first. 2 yards short of the first. That's Gates again for 7.
You know, I talk about San Diego trying to get a pass rush. The same can be said for the Green Bay Packers. The strength of their team, of this team, is their defensive linemen.
3rd and a yard to go. Can Tomlinson pick it up? He does. Cut open a huge hole on that left side, and he was able to get 5. They were number 1 in the league last year, San Diego, for 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 situations. They only failed once all of last year. They missed out twice last week against New England on 3rd and 1s. They get this one.
It's a new year. You know, even Phillip Rivers said to us, you're 14-2 last year. Nobody cares. You got to come out and reestablish what you are. And a lot of times in this league, it takes 4 or 5 games to reestablish what your identity is going to be for the year.
Back to Tomlinson. Ridden down by Barnett for 1 yard.
Yeah, that was a change-up that time by the Green Bay defense. And this is what's happening against the Chargers running game. The blitz. Teams are going, well, the Chargers, we know they're going to run it, so let's go ahead and blitz and try to stop the run on 1st down. That's why their 1st down runs and their 1st down plays are down this year. They're not very good.
We'll call it 2nd and 9.
Going to blitz again.
Gates is left open. Able to escape Collins for a moment. And all the way to the Green Bay 40.
Boy, Phillip Rivers must just go, oh, gosh, please blitz me, please. Because here's Antonio Gates. Watch him go out here. Well, here comes the blitz. Look how easy. LaDainian Tomlinson a nice block, but Antonio Gates just kind of goes down there, gives you a little wiggle, and he's not open. He gets wide open. Yeah, nice block by Tomlinson. He can do it all. Norv Turner said, look, I've always had a way how to teach receivers. Antonio Gates has his own way, and he's so good, we go, fine, do it your way, because it works so well in the game.
Goes for 26 yards. Rivers has not missed. He's 8 for 8. Fake, nothing to go with there. They were going to reverse it. So Tomlinson, they may have planned to do that, but he saw there was nothing opening.
That was an excellent no reverse. Is that the way to say it?
I guess he had to make that decision.
And he made
unless
it
he wanted to hand it off to a Packer.
Oh, see, I couldn't do that as a quarterback when they were covered. I'd throw it and go, drop it for the defender. But it looks like it is a reverse. Look at the lineman sealing off the backside. Too much pressure.
He would have handed it off to Buster Davis, but he got very congested back here.
Oh, boy, that's
loses 5 yards. Manu Maliuna was also in the area, so
take it for the team. That's what LaDainian did that time.
Traffic jam and a loss of 5. 2nd down and 15. Drop back and drop down. Rivers. Biamile with the sack. The man out of San Diego State, sack specialist.
Phillip Rivers, it's what happens when you get good coverage down the field. You got to hold it just for a half a beat more, and it doesn't matter anyway. The defenders jump up in the air so much. What are you going to do? You have to hold the football. You think he's open? Nope. There's the safety waiting on him. Nowhere for Phillip Rivers to throw the football.
Baja Biamile with the hit. Jolly was falling on him, but he'll not get the credit for that sack. It's 3rd and 23 coming up, and a timeout first by the Chargers. Down 10-7. Malcolm Floyd in as an extra receiver for Phillip Rivers. Again, more pressure. Gets the pass to the 39, but still 9 yards shy. That's Gates for 14 yards. And they bring out Cyphers. Cullen Jenkins, boy, he broke through.
They were coming after Phillip Rivers, of course. Yep. Cullen Jenkins, good line stunt. Allows him to put the pressure. He lets it go quick. He's worried about it. And Antonio Gates catches it with about 3 defenders around him.
From the 39 of Green Bay. Cyphers so good last year about not delivering touchbacks. And this one fielded by Woodson. And he's able to get across the 20. Not exactly what the Chargers had in mind. 25-yard punt, 7-yard run back. Packers ball with the lead. Snoopy 1, the MetLife blimp, providing our aerial coverage. This blimp travels over 60,000 miles a year, covering sporting events for us at CBS Sports. Brandon Jackson in the backfield, flanking the quarterback out of the gun. Just inside of 7 minutes to go in the first half. And there's Jennings' first catch of the season. Greg Jennings, who looked so good last year as a rookie, then had a tender ankle the back half of the year, which really curtailed a lot of his productivity, and had to sit out the first 2 games this season with a hamstring.
Yeah, and they're excited to get him back because he is the designated, I guess you would say, speed guy, the guy that can run really fast, and Brett Favre hopes to throw him a couple of deep balls sometime today.
Work in the middle now with Jackson, and the rookie about a yard short of it. Clinton Hart coming up to jam it after a 3-yard gain.
Wow, what a stop. But San Diego came with the blitz on first down, and every time they come with the blitz, Brett Favre is going to probably throw it outside because the corners are going to come get off the receivers, so they're going to take the short throws. And Green Bay, even with Brett Favre at quarterback, they are a short passing football team.
Yeah, they look like they're going to take it under center. Now they step back on 3rd and a yard. Corey Hall wide to the right. The fullback even lined up wide. Favre can run for it. Slides, dives, has it.
Man, that is one appreciative crowd for a 3-yard run. But they tried to catch the Chargers off balance by spreading real quick. The Chargers, very good adjustment. But he looks to the right, makes a little pump fake again. They don't even think about trying to contain the quarterback when it comes to scrambling. Brett Favre wants to stand there and throw it, of course.
Whole middle of the field was open. Brett saw it.
Yeah, it was wide open. He barely got 3.
Even you set it down. The crowd did roar with approval. Closing in on the corners. The quarterback, though, launches long. And that was in the area of Driver, with Jammer running with him.
You know, you hear a lot when you talk about the San Diego Chargers. A lot of complaining about them right now because they're 1-1. They did lose to New England, but nobody likes the way they're doing it. And they always bring up the secondary of the Chargers. Look, that was a couple years ago. Now they've changed it. They've got speed. And that was a good example. When you run down the field with your speed guys, these corners, they're all fast. They can run right with you.
2nd down and 10. Take the handoff on the slant. Deflected. And again, this time it was Ruvell Martin wanting a flag, but I think this was just well covered by Quentin Jammer.
It is. It's something we're seeing a lot today. Top of your screen. Quentin Jammer gives him the inside, and excellent using his left arm. Just rakes it right across Ruvell Martin. No chance to make the catch.
Favre has already thrown it 20 times today. And probably another one on the way. 3rd down and 10. Perfect pass. It's Driver getting away inside the 40. Down the sidelines. Did he step out? They say no, not until the 22-yard line. Marlon McCree was trying to run after him, but it goes for 46 yards.
You said it right. Another short pass. You got to look for it every time against Green Bay. But, Jim, it's the perfect pass. Tight coverage, stick it in between. You don't have to do anything as an offensive lineman a lot of times with Brett Favre as a quarterback. Just getting away. And Driver right between 2 defenders. Quick, accurate, hard throw.
And look at this. That's Jennings picking up another first down.
I'm not sure that play was a pass or not, and that might be a second part of the play. If Brett Favre wants to throw the quick slant, he can, and if he doesn't like the backside, he hands it off on a run. It happened so fast, it was hard to see with the eye. Watch the running backs. Oh, it's a run. Well, let me just back away and say I'm not sure. Because so many teams do it. It's run to the right, quick pass to the left. And the new wrinkle this year in the NFL is the inside throw instead of always the short throws to the outside.
Well, probably what it was what he talked about last week, how he can ad-lib out there like he did against the Giants, resulting in a touchdown last week.
Let's see if Brett Favre, it's
just a quick fake into the line.
Yeah. Well, how about that last week? He wants to call an audible. He can't quite figure it out to get it out. So he goes to say it to the running backs, and then he sees the play clock is down, and he just snaps the ball on a run play. But Donald Driver has played so much with him, said, I saw him turn his head. I thought he might want an audible. So he's the only one that really runs the route. Brett Favre throws a touchdown. So
they did not pick up the first. Inches shy, second down. This time they do hand it off to Jackson easily with the first. And he's down to the 5-yard line. Bubba Franks with a big block. Here's the play you're talking about last week.
Yeah, watch Brett Favre. He's trying to audible. He can't get it out, so he does an audible. And everybody's like, well, what do we do? And he finally sees Donald Driver to the backside. And Donald Driver, we asked him about it. He says, I just saw Brett turn his head. And I know that he was probably trying to do it, but he couldn't get it done. And that's what happens when you get two players that have been together a long time. They just know what the other wants to do.
First and goal from the San Diego 5.
Be alert for a quarterback draw, no?
Well, Favre now running with it. Loses the handle.
That's
picked up by the Chargers. They're going to rule it on the field as a fumble.
Tuck rule, incomplete pass. He was pump faking. It's definitely going to be the tuck rule.
Cromartie fell on it.
Let's see if Brett Favre is doing a pump fake as he runs.
There is a challenge flag out, Phil.
Well, I couldn't see it. If he does it on a pump fake, that's pretty close because he pump fakes. The arm is going down.
It's challenging a ruling on the field of a fumble.
Green Bay's ball.
And the Packers are challenging the call on the field, which was a fumble recovery by the Chargers. Well, Phil Simms had the instantaneous call of that being a tuck. Let's see if you're right.
After reviewing the play, the quarterback's arm was going forward when the ball came loose. As forward is an incomplete pass. Second and 5. Second and goal on the 5. Please reset the game clock to 2:42.
Brett Favre's arm is absolutely going forward. Is he going to throw it? No. He's faking the pump so he can run the football. And I know a lot of people will go, well, we know he wasn't going to throw it. That should be a fumble. Well, how are you going to discern that when you look at these games? That's why the rule is so good and so definitive for situations just like that. There's no gray area. It is absolutely just an incomplete pass. And, you know, the NFL has cleaned that rule up over the years, and it's comes in handy a lot, or it stops a lot of arguments, I guess you should say, Jim, when you watch these games.
Good call there, my men. And it's second and goal for Green Bay from the 5. Big now throws again. He has another touchdown pass. This time it's Bubba Franks.
Same play as last week against the New York Giants.
With a point after, they'll open up a double-digit lead. And Favre is within one of Marino.
Gosh, just think if Bubba Franks doesn't drop one, but here it is. Bubba Franks is going to go over the middle, stop, make a little move, then take off again. Very, very tough for Stephen Cooper to cover that. You need some help inside when the receivers are that close to the goal line.
Crosby makes it 17-7. Maybe today is the day. 17 unanswered by the Packers. Brett Favre has thrown for 185 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half.
Bubba Franks over the middle. Oh, nice. You just see the little stop by him. Stephen Cooper bit on it, but then he took off again, and Brett Favre. Now this guy, it's a lot of touchdowns he has thrown over the years, but he can celebrate with the best.
I know he's not saying one more to go, but it's more like we're number 1. And they are 2-0, and they've won 6 in a row going back to last December.
Jim, this day, all this passing in the first half, this is the only way Green Bay can beat the San Diego Chargers. Put it in the hands of your best player.
Big boot by Crosby. No chance for Sproles.
You know, the other thing, too, Green Bay's on. This is what Brett Favre wants to do. Mike McCarthy really wants to run it between the tackles and be powerful. Brett Favre, he wants to throw it a lot, and he's getting his wish today. Bubba Franks is going to come in, stop, and then take off again. Shoot. My fingers are getting so fat I can't draw on the tennis.
I was wondering what happened there.
And little nice, it just shows you. You want to deceive the defense. A little deception got Bubba Franks wide open for the touchdown.
Send you back to penmanship school. I tell you, Jim Quirk, the umpire, did a good job of ducking, too. At the last minute on that pass. He's coming right at his head. Tomlinson ridden down by Barnett. Gain of about 3. Man knows how to celebrate a touchdown, too. We were looking at some film this week.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about how he loves to dance around, run around, fly around.
Shoot. You know how hard it is to get these touchdown passes? Even for Marino and Favre, it's worth celebrating because it is truly a tremendous feeling.
Containing Tomlinson to this point, 10 for 23. It's Rivers over to Gates. And he trots out at the 39. Picks up 15. You know, you look at Rivers, 10 for 10. You see that drive they put together the first time they had it, and they went 60 yards for a touchdown, and you say, how in the world is this team down 10? We've reached a 2-minute warning. Favre lighting it up. Rivers going to try to answer here before the half. You're back in Green Bay, and the Chargers have it after a completion to Gates. Jim Nantz along with Phil Simms and Brett Favre putting on another show here today.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And you asked me a question. Is this touchdown record, is it really...
Is it on a par with like a Barry Bonds? You know, I'm trying to get this from you.
Yes, it is. It is from the athletic standpoint because it takes greatness, tremendous talent, and longevity, and Brett Favre has them all. We just don't celebrate football records like we do baseball.
Yeah, baseball pays much more attention to those individual stats as Rivers goes for the sideline and pulled down. Nice grab made by Vincent Jackson for a first.
Well, that's a good point. Baseball does talk about individual stats. Football, it's such a game about team, you know, the uniform, all that. It's hard to separate yourself sometimes with your individual records.
From the 50 with 1:35 to go in the half. And there's Davis spinning for another first. Nice move by Buster Davis. And Phillip Rivers told us how much they wanted to get the rookie kind of involved, wanted to put the ball in his hands here today. He'd only caught 2 balls the first 2 games.
Well, that's what they're doing. They're throwing the ball. You just saw Vincent Jackson catch another one. And Buster Davis wide open. Green Bay playing a zone. They drop back, watch the quarterback, and react. They're not very good at it. We've talked about it many times. So they'll say the heck with the zone. Now they're going to go up there and play him man-to-man.
Rivers remains spotless, 12 for 12. The 38. Another completion. Takes the underneath for 6 to Gates. He's just tied his career high, Rivers, with 13 consecutive completions.
It tells you something about Antonio Gates. The strongest part of the defense was exactly where Phillip Rivers threw it, but they're nervous about covering him. They give him room. Phillip Rivers makes a good throw.
There's another one. That's now a new personal best for Rivers, and Gates hauls in his 8th pass of the half. It goes for 6 and a first.
Phillip Rivers let me throw it to Antonio Gates. He knows it's Antonio Gates against A.J. Hawk. Most defensive backs could not cover Antonio Gates in the middle of the field one-on-one. A.J. Hawk, that is not a good matchup for him.
Rivers runs over to the sideline to get some last-second instruction. And a timeout called. That'll leave the Chargers with one. On the move, though, trailing by 10. Tomlinson's in the game. First down and 10. Shift him over to the slot. It's just amazing how open Gates is every single time. They got a flag down.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Spot the ball right at the 10.
Jim, you said Antonio Gates double covered. And anytime you see an offensive player's head turn when a defensive player grabs his face mask, that's going to be a personal foul.
Rivers rolls out now. And that's his first incompletion, just throwing it away. Cullen Jenkins applying pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, you know, both teams. San Diego cannot get pressure on Brett Favre, and by and large, Phillip Rivers given time, and he is finding the open receiver down the field. That time, pressure pushes him out, has to throw it away.
To send Jackson to a slot right. He caught their only touchdown of this game. Gates slot left. Second down. Pass. It's Buster Davis. He touched the pylon and they give him the touchdown. He grabs that football and he's going to take it home. His first NFL touchdown.
Boy, Phillip Rivers is really sharp. Throwing the football with authority. Is very sure of his reads and he is ripping it. Good throw. Touchdown. Football hits the pylon. Knees were not on the ground.
Nope. Great effort by Davis, stretching it out. An impressive drive by the Chargers. Demoralized after Favre had taken over this game. And they come storming back. San Diego. 2 touchdown passes now in the half by Rivers to match Favre.
Yeah, just, you know, Jared Bush just gives too much ground. He gave so much ground, worried about protecting the end zone. Phillip Rivers goes, I still got plenty of time. Take the short pass, and at worst, you're going to be at the 1-yard line. So that's a good cause to celebrate for Buster Davis.
They go 80 yards in a little over 2 minutes.
Keep that football. Got a good souvenir.
Phillip Rivers telling us last night there's no reason to panic, and I'm sure that applied in the huddle when they took over at the 20-yard line on this drive, down 10 yards. I'm sure trying to assure his teammates, guys, let's just keep it under control. You know, last week they were knocked out of it so quickly at New England.
Yep. And you know, too, Jim, is, you know, Norv Turner said it, as long as we don't go out there and make those, you're going to make mistakes. If we don't make that big mistake, he just has faith that his really good players, his star, his playmakers, will end up getting it done for the Chargers.
Kading is way underneath this one. Goes short, bounces at the 18. That's Williams. And in a pack, he is brought down at the 25. 2 timeouts for Favre and company, but 26 seconds. And they'll go right back to the gun. Luis Castillo, by the way, on that defensive line for San Diego is out with a foot sprain. It's questionable whether to return today. And should have been caught by Deshaun Wynn. The rookie was so reliable last week against the Giants.
You know, as I watched the end of this first half, San Diego scoring that touchdown, that is a tremendous relief to Phillip Rivers, Norv Turner, and the whole team, knowing that, all right, if we just do something on defense, our offense is going to win this game for us. And this situation here, you know, I'm not a big fan. You got 23 seconds, a long way to go to even get a field goal attempt. If you take a chance, it can backfire.
Still taking chances, and there's the pass right over the head of Wynn this time.
Well, now you have to run another play, and if you don't get the first down, San Diego can call their timeout and make you punt it. Block punt, return, one play on offense maybe, get in field goal position. So
Get the Chargers that come in here without scoring a first half point through 2 weeks. Did a couple of impressive drives, one measuring 60, the other 80. And they certainly come out in the second half against Chicago and New England and far better at the beginning of the football to start the second half as they run right into the arms of Olshansky. And they do call the timeout with 12 seconds, San Diego. So on this day where we've already had, as I mentioned, 3 kick returns for touchdowns, maybe there's a little something special waiting Darren Sproles. We know that he's certainly one guy you don't want to leave too much in the open. Returner for the Chargers.
He is absolutely one of the better returners there is in this league.
John Ryan in the punt. Packers certainly aware of San Diego's bid here, probably to apply some pressure, but the Packers haven't had a punt block since 1995. Not going to happen on that one either.
Beautiful punt.
Nice boot by Ryan. Gives Sproles no chance. One hop and out of bounds. That's a 54-yard flyer. Just gorgeous.
Well, what can you say about the first half, Jim?
It was exciting.
Man,
good football.
It was great. You're right. Phillip Rivers, Brett Favre, both outstanding. I honestly didn't expect it to be so wide open, even though we have a chance to talk to both teams. You just never got the impression that they wanted to play this style, but Chargers really don't have a choice. Green Bay realizes this is the only way we can beat this big, powerful team.
Well, that's the end of the first half with the score. Green Bay 17 and San Diego 14. We'll be back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the end. It has been quite an aerial show here at Lambeau Field. Packers lead it before the third quarter begins. It's 17-14. 2 Favre touchdown passes and 2 by Rivers on the other side. And just a moment ago here on Alumni Weekend, Bart Starr introduced. Boy, is it special to be here to see that.
Yeah, we've seen him around this weekend. It's a lot of fun. Great standing ovation for Bart Starr, too, which even at his age, it's got to feel good to go out in that field and have the fans appreciate what you've done.
How about the first half here? This was a pretty good football game.
Yeah, it was exciting. We talked so much about what's going to happen. We talk about the Chargers, LaDainian Tomlinson. Can they get the running game going? Well, the Packers have stopped it, but Phillip Rivers, kind of unnoticed by us because Brett Favre is pretty spectacular himself, had a tremendous first half. Threw the ball with accuracy, great poise, and kept the Chargers in this game.
Antonio Gates hauling in just an incredible number of passes there in that first half from Rivers. 9 catches in all. And let's go to your spotlight here, Phil.
Well, you know, here's one of the reasons why LaDainian Tomlinson is having a little trouble. The number of defenders up by the line of scrimmage, 8 of them, and they just attack when the ball is snapped. Look at it. Everybody running at LaDainian Tomlinson. Hard to get yards when they outnumber you up there.
Here's the first half numbers. Not 94.1%. That's right. He only misfired once.
That was a
Did
throwaway.
Rivers. Yep, threw it away. Passing yards, yep, it's pretty good stuff. And a reminder, this game is brought to you in high definition here on CBS. So Darren Sproles hopes to have the chance to run this one back. But he won't get that chance. He'll down it. How important was that drive by San Diego before the half?
You know, Jim, I just think it gets rid of self-doubt. And probably the biggest thing is Phillip Rivers got in such a rhythm. And he kind of was in that rhythm the whole first half. But it gets good for the play caller as much as it is for the players. It lets the coach get in a rhythm. So Norv Turner, all right, we got things moving. Now he's not going to fight the running game as much. And if they have to, I believe the Chargers, they'll spread it out and throw it just about every down, just like Green Bay did in the first half.
They applied a little tape to the left arm for Rivers before he stepped onto the field. And here we go with the third quarter, the first snap. Tomlinson, boy, he is just clothesline right away, and a loss of 3.
But, Jim, we just showed the 8 up and how they attack the line of scrimmage. Watch the defenders run at the snap of the ball. Here comes the snap. Oh, my gosh, they timed it, everything, and nowhere to go.
As Barnett closing in on him.
When a guy in motion stops, defenders know the ball is getting ready to be snapped. And the Packer defense did it, and they got LaDainian for a loss.
Second down and 13. That pass deflected by Cullen Jenkins. Boy, he's looking like his brother Chris down Carolina way, the 3-time Pro Bowler. Cullen Jenkins coming on.
Well, what about him? Such a good, what did I say? First thing I said, this guy is some athlete when you watch him play. Then you find out, what was he in high school? He was a running back, defensive back as he went to college.
Went to Central Michigan, suffered a high ankle sprain in his first game of his senior year, and alas was undrafted. Spent a year playing over in the World League over for Cologne. But he's got a new contract now in his 4th year, and he's making some plays. Third down, 13, Rivers. That's Floyd coming back for the ball. What a grab, and what presence, though, to read that just right. Over Jarrett Bush, goes for 25 yards.
But what can you say about the San Diego Chargers wide receivers today? You can't complain. Phillip Rivers, blitz, no chance to throw it down the field and be accurate, so he does the best thing. Throw it long, and the receiver always has the advantage over the defensive back. They are going to react to the ball on the underthrow before the defensive back does, and Floyd makes a nice catch.
Second-year receiver out of Wyoming picks up a big first on a 3rd and 13. You saw Rivers get knocked down by Corey Williams, but he's fine. They go back to LT. And bangs bodies at the 46, gain of 4.
Here's your guy, Atari Bigby, up there, another hit.
Atari Bigby is someone who really caught the attention of Phillip Rivers when he was preparing for this game and really looking through some of the preseason action.
Yeah, he says you look at some of the preseason games and it's late third quarter and you see this guy making plays and you go, wow, it's Bigby, he's a starter.
Yeah.
And
Cullen Jenkins, we were just talking about him, he's a little shaken up. But this Bigby was a training camp start, no question, and Rivers spotted that in his homework this week.
Well, too, Jim, he's played well. He's very athletic, comes to the line of scrimmage like most safeties. If you want to start in the NFL as a safety now, you better be able to cover, and you better come up and tackle guys like LaDainian Tomlinson within a couple yards of the line of scrimmage, and he has shown that he is not afraid to do it.
Jenkins walking up and looking pretty strong here. Bigby, though, had already had tryouts, if you will, with both Miami and the New York Jets. Took a little time for him to develop out of Central Florida. Had a practice squad year with Green Bay, and yet another Central Florida DB where Sante Samuel went to school as well. The fine corner for New England. Bianila is in for Jenkins, and it's Tomlinson getting the corner and before shoved out by Woodson. So a 3rd and 3 coming up. That picked up about 3. You know, you look at Tomlinson, and again, just 2 yards a carry today. He was averaging fewer than 2 yards a carry coming in through 2 games. Well, there you go. There you see it right now. He's moving in on 100 yards on the season. And it's the same. Yes, they have a change today at right tackle with Clary. It's the same line, though, he's running behind.
Yep. Veterans, they've had success, but it's the way defenses are playing the Chargers. Good defenses so far, but they're just not going to let him get his running yards.
3rd down and 3. Unloading in time and scooped up and caught. What a fine catch by Gates. Down to the ankles, pick up that 1st down.
That was some catch by Antonio Gates. It's a blitz. Pressure on Phillip Rivers. First guy's out open. Let me find Antonio Gates, and just snatches it right off the ground. And they have tried. Antonio Gates, this time it's Bigsby on him. They have tried covering him with everybody. They've had Charles Woodson, A.J. Hawk. Nick Collins took his shot at it, couldn't get it done.
Gates now twice coming through on 3rd down for catches for a 1st. And that's Tomlinson, wasn't quite ready, hadn't turned around. And Barnett with an extra little free shot, legal.
It's a play they ran early in the game, and it was thrown to Antonio Gates, but Green Bay's had just about enough of it. So they put 2 defenders on Antonio Gates, and Phillip Rivers, quick decisions, very confident. Well, Danian says, man, in practice it doesn't come out that quick.
Last time these 2 tangled was in 2003 at San Diego, and Tomlinson caught 11 balls, including 2 touchdowns. Here he's running and galloping, and a rare opening for Tomlinson to run through. Really created by Jeremy Clary, the one we mentioned, getting his first career start today.
Green Bay guest run. They blitz with their linebackers. But when you blitz, what you must do is make sure everybody is spaced out evenly across the field. That time they were not. And LaDainian Tomlinson found that little hole and got right through it.
That equals the longest run of the season for LT. It goes for 11 yards and a 1st down. And Cullen Jenkins has returned to the defensive line for Green Bay after having to sit out 2 plays. Shaken up. Rivers. Again, it's Buster Davis getting his touches today. That goes for 5 yards. Buster Davis.
This is Phillip Rivers. One thing that's made him successful as a quarterback is how quick he can get rid of the football. And he did it for 4 years as a starter at North Carolina State, and that is his strength. He's tall, he plays tall, and he is a very, very good thrower. The short passes with all the people around him and the receivers.
Davis has 4 catches today, had 2 on the season coming in. Turner in the game, stutter step move, then takes off, accelerates into right into the secondary before he actually scrambles for an extra 3 yards.
Green Bay has had a couple chances on 3rd downs to get off the field. They have not. So now the physical presence of the Chargers and the rhythm of just being on the field and playing is starting to show. The touchdown before half, and now this drive where they're methodically just going down the field. And Michael Turner, what's he about? He is big and a very strong runner who can break tackles. Good example there.
Osgood in the game for San Diego, and Tomlinson takes it to the 20. 3-yard gain. So the Chargers, with their first drive of the game, went 60 yards, drove right down the field, and they're threatening to do that to start the 3rd quarter. There's an injury timeout. Nick Collins is down for the Packers. We'll be right back. The atrium here at Lambeau Field, which has visitors every single day of the year. Come by and check out this historic site in its 50th year. 12th play of the drive. San Diego, 2nd down and 7. Faking reverse to Gates. Tossing it to Tomlinson. High stepping it in for the touchdown. "21 yards for number 21.
That is a nice play. The fake run up the middle. Then you fake the reverse, and you got the defense scrambling, looking who's got the ball. And by the time you react, LaDainian Tomlinson, so explosive, so fast, he's in the end zone.
Chris Dillman was running down the field with him, and he got enough on the last possible tackler to throw him off balance and set LT free. Kading adds the extra point. That's now 3 touchdown passes for Rivers. LT's longest play of the year is a pass play. 21 yards for the lead. We are back here in Green Bay, and Brett Favre, first time he sees the football in the second half, he's going to find himself with a deficit of 4. He had his team 10 in front late in the second quarter. But back-to-back drive, one at the end of the second quarter, one to start the third by the Chargers. And that's Williams. And a flag and maybe a face mask. Cletus Gordon was reaching in.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 24, the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And that wasn't the... Well, there it is.
Boy.
Yeah. Second personal foul of the day called against San Diego. The penalty places the football at the 36-yard line. And Bart Favre comes out after 2 first-half touchdown passes, 1 to tie Dan Marino on the all-time list. First play of the second half for the Packers is a handoff to Jackson for 2.
Now, you know, Green Bay, this offense, this is something. They got to come out and reestablish themselves to get the momentum on their side again, to get the crowd into it, to give their defense, even though we just started the third quarter, a rest because the Chargers have taken 2 long drives and gone down and scored. So take some of that confidence away with a few first downs. You can take it away from the Chargers maybe. 2nd down and 8. Castillo has not returned to that defensive line. Jacques Césaire taking his place for San Diego. And the screen pass. And you get about 3 more for Brandon Jackson. This running back situation a little problematic for Green Bay. There's just no experience there. They've got Brandon Jackson and Deshaun Wynn kind of alternating with Vernon Morency expected to return here in the next couple of weeks, but there's just no experience back there for Favre. No, there isn't. This is a young, very young group of skilled people for the Green Bay Packers. You know, wide receivers. You got James Jones, a rookie. Greg Jennings is young. So you just got to work your way through it. Hope they don't make the big mistakes. And after a few weeks.
3rd and 7, flags flying as San Diego was so ready to pounce. They were blitzing from all corners.
Neutral zone infraction. Number 54 to the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
There's now 7 penalties called against the Chargers today.
Watch Brett Favre, his head bobs down just a little, but he timed it right. He had a hard count on against the blitz. And when defensive players are blitzing, you know, they're thinking of these wonderful things. I'm going to sack the quarterback.
That's
Jim, you just flinched.
one way to do it.
It'll make you flinch the way he does it. He's good at it.
3rd and a long yard. Favre with all kinds of pressure just has to throw it away. He had Césaire in his face. Clinton Hart on the coverage. Césaire again in there for Castillo.
Yeah, that time the second look. Brett Favre got a second look, but even when he got it, still nobody was open. And finally, Césaire gets in there and makes him throw it away.
One of the few times they've really had any pressure on Favre today. Ryan, who unleashed a beautiful kick in that second quarter, 54-yarder. Back out here again. It's another good one. Oh, and it's a favorable bounce. It actually backs up 5 yards, but did not propel itself into the end zone. So pins him inside the 20. They'll take over at the 11 in a moment. Well, San Diego's finding a rhythm on offense. That's unquestioned. They had a kneel down right before the half. If you take that away, their last 2 drives, they've gone 80 yards for touchdowns. They start this one with a 1-yarder to Ladanian. Where's the #1 man in all fantasy drafts was Ladanian Tomlinson. As we take a look at the fantasy numbers from around the league, McNabb, all of that in the first half, the 4 touchdowns.
I mean, these numbers, it's really incredible, some of the numbers quarterbacks are putting up.
Steven Jackson over 100, but his team has been blanked by Tampa Bay. And Kevin Curtis on the receiving end of 3 McNabb passes. Again, all 3 catches for scores in the first half by Curtis. Second down, we'll call it 9. Rivers wanting to go long and throws it. Jackson has the catch, and he's out of bounds at the 30. Harris defending. That goes for 19.
Boy, Phillip Rivers, what can you say? After last week, not his best, but this time it's a zone coverage, and he just waits and waits. Tremendous protection and puts the perfect arc on it across the field. And Vincent Jackson's the guy you'd like to see run these routes because he is so tall. And if there is some coverage in front of him, you just throw it over the top. He jumps up, makes a catch.
So they get out of that jam back near the 10-yard line. New set of downs at the 30. And Tomlinson, he's starting to look a little fresher too. That last drive, he broke a couple of runs. Tomlinson had an 11-yarder. Churns out 5 yards this time.
Well, one of the few times they came up and ran the football on first down where the Green Bay Packers were not blitzing to stop the run. So, and a lot of that, Phillip Rivers on the quick count catches the defense a little bit off guard. But really the story for this Chargers team and offense is Phillip Rivers.
Nick Collins is back in the Green Bay secondary after being shaken up on the last series. This time they allow Tomlinson nothing at all. Papinga comes up with the quick hit. Only a gain of a yard. 3rd and 5 on the way. Now you talked about Rivers, how poised he's looked here today, and that was something that the patience factor was something that was very large on his mind last night.
Yeah, it was. You know, think about it. He didn't really get many chances against Chicago. Last week against New England, boom, right away they're down 14-0. Today, he's found his rhythm. With that rhythm comes accuracy, confidence. Right now, he's got it all going.
He's got a 3rd down and 5. And that's over the head of Gates, who was open.
Yeah, but it was a good throw, though, Jim, because the defender couldn't tell who it was. Covering somebody else was underneath it. So you play it in between. You throw it a little high. Gates, top of your screen, going down first. And that's Jared Bush underneath. You have to throw it high because you can't take a chance. Like last week, didn't throw it high enough, caused a big interception.
Cyphers to punt to Woodson. And that was not his best. But it's a great bounce. Big time bounce. All the way down to the 12. He'll be credited with a boot of 53 yards. Favre coming back out. Down 21-17. So Green Bay begins at the 12. And since leading 17-7, San Diego has run 27 offensive plays to 6 for the Packers. So now they need to find their rhythm again. And they do. It's Driver at the 35. By the way, after the punt, on the sidelines, watch this exchange. Rivers and Ladanian and Gates a little bit.
It's, you know, you get like, oh, look at them, they're getting mad. It's all good. Look at Phillip Rivers like, oh, okay, walks away. But Phillip Rivers is a talker. and that's how he leads. He rallies guys, and Norv Turner even says it. Guys want to play for him. That's what he's about. And LaDainian Tomlinson, even if it was something that was a little negative, it's all fun. You know, air it out. That's how you become a really good team, is talking and believing in each other.
Jones. And he is out to the 43. Picks up 9. Stephen Cooper on the hit, but 2 quick fire passes. 2 good ones. One to Driver, one to Jones. And they're moving. So he's within 1 of Dan Marino's 420. You look at the top records at receiving, and Jerry Rice rushing touchdown belonged to Emmitt Smith. Marino has had that touchdown pass record for 4,319 days.
Illegal formation. Offense, 5 yards. All the players did not get set. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
I can remember being up here 2 years ago, and there were the questions, Favre's got that within reach, that record. Are you going to retire? Then we were here last year.
Yeah.
And, are you going to come back? Back to last time we were here was the last time Green Bay lost.
That's right.
December the 3rd, we saw the Jets steamroll them here.
And, honestly, we left the game, I thought, well, that'll do it.
Yep, they were 4-8. 4-8.
He's got to retire. The team's just not going to be able to turn around. And then they win their last 4, and here they are, 2-0.
Yep, 6-game win streak. Second down, 10, middle, Driver. Boy, is he tough to bring down. To the San Diego 49, a gain of 12. And he broke away from Marlon McCree.
Yeah, Marlon McCree is mad because it's a double cover on Donald Driver. But I'm sure, like many, many players before him, he's coming up to be the second guy covering Donald Driver. But the football just beats him there. He underestimates the strength of Brett Favre's arm.
And Driver's over 100 yards, including a touchdown. Win. And Clinton Hart meets him after a 3-yard gain. You can go to the new NFL.com Game Center for exclusive video highlights, all the fantasy stats, and all the post-game reaction from today's games. It's all at NFL.com/Game Center. Favre at 234 yards with a pair of touchdown tosses. And 14 unanswered in this game by San Diego to battle back from 10 down on the road. He wanted to go deep, and he gets sacked. It just wasn't there downfield. Olshansky gets to him first, and Phillips finishes him off.
You said it, Jim. He wanted to go deep. It's a play-action pass, so they're trying to get a quick score here and catch the Chargers. They've thrown so many short ones. But Sean Phillips just keeps working. The coverage down the field allows him to get the sack.
With the first sack, he's been hurried 3 times. And he's got 3rd and long. Again, the little shovel pass, but this time it's well read. Win restricted to 2 yards. Phillips and Merriman close down the middle. And that'll close down the 3rd quarter. That 80-yard drive by the Chargers. And the touchdown toss to LT, giving them the lead. We're going to the 4th at 21-17. You're watching the NFL on CBS. The 4th quarter getting started here at Lambeau Field. Jim Nantz, Phil Simms, with San Diego leading at 21-17. You can open up the final quarter with the Packers punting from midfield. Ryan with a perfect snap from Rob Davis. Sproles, no fair catch. And he's out to the 18-yard line. Rivers with the hot hand. He returns to the field. We come back. They've already had 2 80-yard drives in this game, plus a 60-yard scoring drive. This one starts at the 18. And they commence with Tomlinson bursting ahead for about 7, maybe 8. A little bratwurst. I know you're so concerned about nutrition, and I admire you for that. Sometimes I see you deviate a little bit. I couldn't talk you into one at halftime, so I had yours and one for myself.
How can I eat them when you're over there just tearing them up?
Hey, there's about 20 of them sitting back there.
I was afraid if I put my finger down there, you'd slice it off the way you're eating.
So it's Tomlinson. And
I want to know about that heartburn on the flight home late tonight, though.
I know it.
It is. You know, you come up here and eat a bratwurst, it's in.
You haven't experienced the week here unless you do that. McNeil, a little shaky, but going to stay in the huddle. And they say, well, Tomlinson's run was good enough for the first. Michael Turner will take Tomlinson's place in this next snap.
Sooner or later, the Chargers, they go with the play action pass here on first down, and they can get, or a chance to get a big play, because Green Bay is attacking the line every time, and here they come again.
And Turner is running down the right side. No gain. How about Phillip Rivers' performance?
Well, you know, I'm spectacular. That's the only thing to say. And he got off to such a tremendous start with a perfect throw to Vincent Jackson. And then he must have went to the sideline and go, wow, okay, I feel good. Got the rhythm going, and he has continued the whole day. He is the difference right now why the Chargers are winning. And this is great for the San Diego Chargers, because now they realize it's always not about Antonio Gates and LaDainian Tomlinson.
And again, the unbending defense against the run for Green Bay, allowing only 1 for Turner. Campman and Papinga double up on Turner. 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, putting a lot of pressure. They're doing 2 things when you do this. Puts a lot of pressure on LaDainian, because on first down, that's all Green Bay plays is run defense. You need to get LaDainian Tomlinson, like on that screen play, some space where he can show his talent off.
Third and 9. Pressure. And the ball is out.
White ball.
Recovered by the Chargers. Colin Jenkins and Aaron Campman came in from the corners and pinched the quarterback.
Yep.
And squeezed the ball out.
They did. And did somebody try to pick up the fumble inside? That's what I want to see. Does a Green Bay Packer try to pick it up?
Yes, Baja Biamila almost caught it on the fly. Goff with the recovery. Jenkins is down for the 2nd time in this game. There's a timeout on the field. And there's Colin Jenkins. He was able to walk off, and he appears to be fine. But it's a punting situation for San Diego and Cyphers. And he really nails this one. Woodson over the shoulder grab, 17-yard line. Past the first 2, but not the 3rd. Carlos Polk finishes him off. 61-yard punt, 13-yard return.
Almost a game-changing sack by the Green Bay defense. Pressure. Here comes the hit by Kabir Baja-Biamila, and I thought he was going to try to pick it up. It looks like he might, and there's always a rule. Big guys fall on it, small guys pick it up.
And by the way, any hard feelings between LT and Phillip Rivers? No.
Heck no.
Heck, it's what you said.
Everything.
Air it out.
Everything goes when you're in the game. You know, you can almost say whatever you want, and it never should hurt your feelings or whatever. Just take it in the spirit of competition.
First down, and an empty backfield for Favre. Perfect pass again. It's Driver. Nifty move to get free. And then Florence comes back to get him and knock him out at the 46. Marlon McCree again was unable to contain him. Goes for 24 yards.
Watch Brett Favre here. Just kind of falls away from it, throws it sidearm, and by going sidearm, it creates a little bigger window for Donald Driver and allows him to catch the football, then make a play. And that's what Brett Favre said to us on Friday. Just let Donald Driver keep catching passes, and he will make some guys miss and get a lot of extra yards.
Driver with a big day, 6 for 126 and a touch. And a first down, handoff to Wynn. And the pile moves down to about the 42. And to Carlos Polk and others. Goes for 4. Remember, Driver had his helmet knocked off. But after that, he certainly turned a few heads with that catch.
Well, you know, you don't catch all the passes that he has in his career and really kind of gone unnoticed by the national media.
I agree with that.
You don't do all that unless, you know, Jim, unless you're a tough guy. You know, you don't succeed in this league and have continued success unless you're tough.
Timeout called by the Packers. Fourth quarter on the drive, down 4. They come out of the timeout called by the Packers. The Packers snapping it here on 2nd and 6. There's a flag as Jones unable to hold on to it. Quentin Jammer reached in and knocked it out.
Well, this caught him in the blitz again, the hard count.
The free play. I think it might have been Merriman.
Offside. Defense, number 56. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Next week's a doubleheader week on CBS. The main game late, Denver and Indianapolis. Colts are winning down in Houston today. They're up 13 in the 4th. And Denver, it'll be quite a game. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and the coach all started off. And there's another perfect Favre throw on the slant. He gets that one in there just exactly where it has to be, not an inch off. That's Greg Jennings bringing it down for 10.
Well, it's not that he gets it in there. It's so quick, and he acts like that football is the size of a baseball, the way he can just grab it and just flick it in there. This is not easy. And with a high release, too, right on target.
Deepest penetration of the second half for the Packers. San Diego 27. Waits and finds the open man. Down to the 19 is James Jones for 8 yards.
I was talking earlier how I believe, you know, Mike McCarthy, he's the play caller, head coach. He talks to Brett Favre, gives him the play, gives him a few reminders, and I think if it's all said and done, Mike McCarthy, like I said earlier, he'd like to line up and run it between the tackles and be a power offense. And Brett Favre, we're seeing today, he wants to spread it out and put the game on his shoulders.
From the 19. 2nd and 2. Knocked away by Jammer.
Well, Quentin Jammer has made a lot of plays today. Just really every year you watch him, he just gets a little better. And he's playing the football just excellent. Using that front hand to knock it down. And if he misses it, he has the backhand to make the tackle.
3rd down and 2 coming up. Just under 9 minutes. Double tight end, Lee and Franks.
Double teaming Donald Driver to make sure he doesn't catch it.
And they get the first. And a flag. Donald Lee with the grab. Oh, and San Diego is indicating it's going against the Packers. Let's see from Jeff Triplett.
Offensive pass interference, number 86. 10-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Crucial call. Takes away the first, sets up 3rd and long.
Donald Lee, 86 in the inside. Oh, 2 hands forward, knock him down. Looks like I think he pushed down Weddle. I'm not sure which defender it was, but you're a receiver, and you go down and make contact and extend your arms. That is an easy call for the officials.
Instead of 1st and 10 at the 14, it's 3rd and 12 at the 29. Waiting, and finding an open man. Right back to Lee, and they have the first at the 11. 18 yards.
Well, just get a look at Brett Favre. People in his face. Caesar can't believe that Brett Favre gets it off. Again, covered initially, but the extra time, Brett Favre falling backwards, allows the receiver to uncover.
San Diego had to call time. Sean Phillips lost a shoe, and there was complete confusion on the Chargers side with substitutions. Rivers and Tomlinson keeping company, and they may be called on to have to come back because Green Bay's threatening to go in and take the lead. 8 minutes remaining. First down for the Packers from the 11. Favre 1 away from tying Marino on the record. Look at the time right here. Knocked down. He's going for James Jones. Clinton Hart defended it.
Yeah, he defended it well. Nice job. Brett Favre looks it off. He wanted to make sure there was not a blitz coming from the backside. And once he saw he was safe, fires it in there, but good coverage by Clinton Hart.
Castillo's been out most of this game for San Diego, but he has returned. Sprained his foot in the first half. Back out there. 93. Second down. 10. Favre, open man, Lee, and hurdles. And did he cross the plane? They're going to say he's down. About a foot shy. That close. Look at Favre appealing.
Well, that will be a first down. I think Brett Favre wants them to replay it. But a good job hanging in the pocket.
That is awfully close.
It looks like Weddle got picked by the umpire inside. What goes down? Elbow. No, he's down. That was a tremendous spot by the officials.
Looks
he's
like
down on the 1 foot line.
Do you think he wanted a piece of the record at home?
Yeah.
Of course, more than anything, he wants to win.
Well, this is interesting. Mike McCarthy said, you know, I can't get involved in decisions like this. He threw the flag once last week because guys get emotional. And he says, I cannot get emotional as a head coach. So here's a good example. Don't do it, coach. It is down at the 6-inch line. Forearm down. There's the ball.
Green Bay's called a timeout. First and inches. They called timeout. They wanted time to kind of digest the replay, and there's no way they're going to win that appeal. So they got a first down snap coming. That close to taking the lead.
I say they throw it.
And San Diego.
Start. 62 in the offense.
Oh, my God.
5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Junius Constant, who had his first career start last week in the game against the Giants. That's a big break for the Chargers.
There he is. Oh, just a little flinch by the right guard. Constant, that is huge. And it wasn't even, the snap count was not going to be a quick one. They were going to shift and go in motion.
Give him a little more room here for Brett to have some possible openings. Chance to join Mr. Marino. Here's the throw over the head of Jackson. Such an interesting thing when you get on these records that are, you know, records that you talk about the span of the history of the league, and yet you're really sitting here with 7 minutes to go, and the game is on the line.
Oh, it's all about the game.
It's all about the game.
Absolutely. You know, Mike McCarthy couldn't care. He knows Brett Favre is going to break the record. Do what's best for your football team. And that penalty, again, this is a tough area to score from when you're trying to do it with the pass.
Now 2nd and goal. Favre is brought down, and the ball is squirting out, but they're going to rule him down first. That will go down as a sack. Loss of a yard. Credit it to Sean Phillips.
And you know, it's so hard. Nobody's open. Brett Favre trying to create some space with the pump fake. And he is on the ground, and the ground cannot cause a fumble when a defender throws you down.
3rd and goal. Favre fires, has a man at the goal line, and this time they say he's short again. That's James Jones, who thought he had backed in to the end zone. And they're right back to where they started a couple of snaps ago, about a foot away.
This is one they'll want to see. The coach is up top. Did he catch it and fall into the end zone? And that is some eye by the line judge. He saw it. He is a few inches short.
Well, they're going for it here on 4th and goal.
No backs in the backfield.
4th and a foot, no one in the backfield. And Favre looking up top, flings incomplete. Chargers hold them down.
Wow.
Twice denied right at the precipice of the goal line. Right on the edge of going in. 6 plays inside the 15 they run, and they can't get it across.
Yeah, you got to question this decision. It's not about throwing it down here at all. It's just knocked down, and there's defenders everywhere. This pass will not be complete. But if you put some running backs in the backfield, at least you can deceive the defense and get extra time to throw it if that's what you want to do.
It was Phillips who really got a hand on it, knocked it off course. And they'll let Neal try to power drive it up, give him a little bit of wiggle room.
Well, so many things. They don't score from the 6-inch line. They have the penalty. They get it back. They have to use a timeout.
That's gonna.
They don't get the field goal. So the dynamics of the game, it's
the false start. False start, a killer.
All went against Green Bay.
Back over to Neal. Woodson trips him up. Gives up only 2 yards. 3rd and 8.
Green Bay with only 1 timeout. You let the San Diego Chargers get a first down, it'll take it down inside 2 minutes.
Rivers from the end zone, and the catch is made. Antonio Gates out battling Jared Bush for 18 yards and a first.
Oh, that was guaranteed. I couldn't say it before the snap. Top of your screen, one-on-one. Let him cover him, throw it behind, and then no matter what, Antonio Gates is not going to let the defender intercept it.
11 catches on the day now for Gates, 2 of them in this half. Tomlinson weaving up the middle for about 5.
Antonio Gates with the biggest play, and Phillip Rivers with a tremendous throw.
And again, it's Tomlinson. We'll bring it to about the 2.5-minute mark before they have to snap it again. And again, a thanks on this beautiful day to the MetLife Blimp, providing the aerial coverage of all the drama below. And there's certainly been plenty of that here in the late stages. Another moment here for the Green Bay defense to switch the momentum over to their side.
This is the game for Green Bay.
Pass too high. It's going for Vincent Jackson. And they'll give that man another chance.
Yeah, what it is, they put all the receivers to the right except Vincent Jackson and Phillip Rivers. He knew if he had one-on-one on the backside, which he did, He was going to go there, but he did the smart thing. He played it very safe with the throw, and it was incomplete.
Cyphers didn't catch it like the last time, and Woodson on the run, able to scoot quickly to the 44. So an excellent starting point for Brett Favre with 2:18 remaining. Is there another game-winning drive to come? He's got 36 in the career. One timeout.
First and 10 from the 43.
Packers all 17 of their points coming in the first half. Led at one time at 17-7.
Lobs it.
Now the defender had fallen, trying to hit Bubba Franks. Weddle on the coverage.
It's a good call by the San Diego Chargers. They're playing to make Brett Favre throw it inside. So when you look outside, that's what they're defending against. And Weddle, perfect coverage against Bubba Franks.
Second down and 10. Got a man wide open, and he's off to the races. He's going to get the touchdown right here. Greg Jennings. Green Bay takes the lead, and Favre joins Marino in the history books. They couldn't get it from a foot, but they take almost no time to get it from 57 yards. Greg Jennings, who also caught Favre's 400th career touchdown, now has number 420. And Green Bay leads it at 24-21. Thirty-seven-year-old Brett Favre takes off in a full jubilant sprint. Donald Driver, who's had so many big catches in Favre's career. It was Jennings this time, though.
Well, to make it a special moment for Brett Favre and the Packers, the defense is going to have to come through for him now. And what we start today with, we started talking about Brett Favre and his arm, how special it is. And Jim, very few quarterbacks can thread the needle time and time again, and he threaded the needle to Greg Jennings, and it gave him a chance to win this game.
Crosby's kick will be run back by Sproles. Twisted down at the 22. Here's the one that gave him the lead and tied the touchdown record. Can the Chargers get in position for Nate Kading? Give him a chance to tie this game. As raucous as it gets. 158. Diving catch. A beauty by Jackson. His 4th grab of the day.
It's been a clinic here today by receivers making tough catches. That was another one.
And that's over the head of Floyd. What kind of busted coverage was that for the Chargers secondary, Phil?
Well, it was not a busted coverage, Jim. Up the top of the screen is where Jennings is going to come from. Here's Clinton Hart. If he's in the middle of the field, he's the second line of defense. But he drifts by looking at Brett Favre, and it takes him out of position to make the tackle once he gets past that first line of defense. So the safety's drifted with Brett Favre's eyes. That created a lane once the catch was made for the big play.
2nd and 10. Stepping up. Just rifled it. Too much heat on it for Buster Davis. 3rd down coming up.
Phillip Rivers, with all this crowd noise in an obvious passing situation, is getting good protection. The receivers down the middle of the last play were open.
Picked off. It's Barnett. Barnett running back with it inside the 10. And he's out of bounds at the 2.
When you throw it across the middle, you've got to see in front of the receiver, and this play looks almost like the one that last week Adalius Thomas took back in Brett Favre.
Jeff Blum, their great PR man, celebrating with him. I hate to even suggest it here. 1:12 to go. Do you go ahead and try to give Favre a shot at the record at home?
No. You win the game. You kneel on the ball.
I think that's what you've got to do.
You kneel on the ball. No, I'm sorry. I looked at it wrong. The Chargers have 2 timeouts. My mistake.
Hand it off. The rookie running down the line and bounced out at the 1. And that stops the clock.
It does.
That was Brandon Jackson. I tell you, it's setting up for a little short toss.
It is now. And you know, Jim, I'm sorry. I thought that the Chargers had 1 timeout. They have 2, so that makes the Green Bay Packers keep playing. They do have this play in their playbook where they can fake it and throw it to the right short.
Run for it again, and they drive in. No signal yet. Touchdown. Brandon Jackson. 2 touchdowns in a 64-second span. The Packers had those agonizing, so close from the 1-foot area, denied, and then they score twice.
I'm sorry, you talked about maybe they throw it. It's just about winning the game, and what a job by the Green Bay Packers. Brett Favre, this late in his career, really, does he have hope that they can do it again? Mike McCarthy, the head coach, kind of changing his ways today. Instead of running it, he put it in the hands of Brett Favre against a team that if you line up and just think you're going to run it, well, you're not going to beat them that way.
Green Bay with 2 opening wins over teams that were in the playoffs last year, Philadelphia and the New York Giants, and 59 seconds away from 3-0 with all 3 wins over postseason teams a year. It's never happened in the history of the Packers to open up 3-0 with wins over playoff teams.
I'm not sure the Green Bay Packers believed at 2-0. I know they believe now, though. The way they've done this today.
And a stutter step, and he's coming out anyway. Sproles. And he gets it to the 31. Brett Favre with 3 touchdown passes today to get to 420. Isn't it something? He has 420 in 240 starts. And Dan Marino had 240 starts in his career and ended up with 420.
Well, arguably, Dan Marino and Brett Favre, I could make a tremendous case. Maybe the 2 best throwers. You got to put John Elway in there. There's been some in the past I've seen. But just the greatest throwers of the football. And that's what Dan Marino always says. Can he throw it? And, well, Brett Favre, he can throw it, Dan.
Yeah, no question. And the ball's loose, and somehow it ends up in the hands of Tomlinson. And he's out of bounds at the 45. Faja Biamila actually knocked it loose, was trying to cause a turnover. The Subway post-game show is coming up next. JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer, and the coach. Interested to hear from Dan, who all along has been out there supporting Brett Favre in his pursuit of his record. We'll be hearing from Dan and the group coming up here shortly on the Subway post-game show. And that's Jackson running free for a while to the 37. Gain of 18.
Jim, what's amazing, Dan Marino had a lot of times where he was hurt. If he would have got hurt, where would that touchdown record be? And look at Brett Favre on the sideline. He always has a lot of fun. Kids about a lot of things, but I think right now he's been a little reflective of all the wonderful things that have happened to him as a Green Bay Packer.
His first touchdown pass went to Sterling Sharp. Our man Shannon in the studio's brother caught his first. And Brett's first start was a win over our man Coach Cowher and the Pittsburgh Steelers. All kinds of connections back there in Studio 43. From the 37. Even it down the field over the head of Floyd. Again, the Subway post-game show is coming up with all the highlights. The Patriots go to 3-0. They trounce Buffalo with Lossman going out early. Kansas City finally gets a win. They were down 10-0. They come back to beat the Vikings 13-10. Colts hold on against the Texans, who were really shorthanded today with injuries. Andre Johnson and Amon Green was hurt early in that game. All that coming up with the highlights on the Subway postgame show. To Vincent Jackson and a timeout called.
Oh, this is good job by Norv Turner. 25 seconds ago. You got 1 timeout left. And he's going to kick the field goal right now because this is the only way it gives him a chance to win the game.
You're going to bring out Nate Kading, who has attempted only 1 field goal all season long, and that one was blocked from 33 yards. The last time he made a field goal, he won the game in the Pro Bowl for the AFC side last February.
You know, a lot of people This is good game management. Kick the field goal, then you onside kick and you get it. It gives you a chance to throw maybe 2 balls in the end zone to tie the score.
You so seldom see it, and I don't know why. It's a strategy, really. If you want some last-second heaves to the end zone, it's the only chance. Got to get this first, though, and Kading does his part from 44 yards.
Well, you only do it if you want to win the game.
But why don't more do it?
Well, I don't know what they think on the sideline sometimes. We haven't been in a situation to see it, but really good job of being alert by the coaches of San Diego Chargers.
Rivers and Favre combined 675 yards passing and 6 touchdowns.
And look at this, the last successful onside kick. 1997.
That's amazing.
It is, but only 6 attempts, which is amazing too. You'd think there'd be more of them, but
last year in the league, the highest percentage of successful onside kicks in the history of the league. Let's see if the Chargers give themselves a little shot here.
Here's why the onside kicks are getting, they're better at them now. It's because they know how to kick the top of the football, the kickers do, and it bounces once. Then the second time it bounces, it goes way up in the air, and really it's just a jump ball.
High in the air and fielded by Donald Driver. So the game will end on a kneel down and the ball will end up in the hands of Brett Favre.
It's high enough, just too far down the field before a San Diego Charger defender can get there.
It was Cyphers who kicked it. Driver who caught it. It was an easy one. The Chargers about to drop to 1-2 on the season. Match the total number of losses they had all of last regular season. That's it. The Packers come storming back. Favre makes more history, and Green Bay goes to 3-0 on the season.
Appreciate it, man. Hold that for you again. I appreciate it, man.
Now the final score is Green Bay 31, San Diego 24.